I've seen it firsthand. For the last 3 years, I've worked at the esteemed In-N-Out Burger, putting me on the front lines of the obesity epidemic that is taking place in this country. For the last Every day for the last 3 years, the same characters rolling through the drive-thru and order the same ridiculous meals. One customer says to me before 11 a.m., "Can I get a 4x4 animal style, no lettuce or tomato, no pickle, with extra onion, extra cheese? For the fry, I'll do an animal fry, extra cheese, extra onion, extra spread, with a Neapolitan shake, and I'll also do a large root beer on the side." And I'm taking that to go, thanks. Our daily interactions send chills up my spine. I can hear this man gasping for breath after every word he speaks. His torso spills over into the passenger seat next to him, and his gut consumes the steering wheel in front of him. It is quite apparent that this man is in both mental and physical agony, and the most depressing part is, he is not alone. His fellow fatties roll through the drive-thru by the dozens, all for their daily fix of fat, salt, and high fructose corn syrup. Atsushi Okubo has an amazing quote that encapsulates what I'm trying to articulate when he says, "A sound soul dwells within a sound mind and a sound body." Now, the obesity epidemic in this country has grown steadily for the last 20 years. Essentially, Americans are getting fatter by the second with little to no end in sight. According to the NewsRx article titled, fittingly, "Obesity in America," states that the prevalence of obesity in America continues to grow significantly. Awareness and understanding of the disease of obesity and treatment options for it appear to be lacking among the general U.S. population. Obesity is a nationwide epidemic that claims the lives of hundreds of thousands of people every year. Now, the issue is what we're eating. The average American diet consists of processed sugars, trans fats, and seed oils, all of which are inflammatory and cancer-causing substances. The rate at which we consume these is also alarming. According to the article, Nation's Top Nutrition Panel, written by Peter Horisky, states that a new report by the Dietary Guidelines Advisory Committee says that the American diet is showing devastating effects. About 2/3 of American adults are overweight or obese. It may be worse. About half of American adults, 117 million people in America, have preventable chronic diseases related to poor diet and physical inactivity. The formula is quite simple. If you eat processed garbage and you do not exercise, you will become obese. Now, of course, the individual is to blame and responsible for what they put in their bodies, but the U.S. government has not been so kind to those confused about nutrition. In the GoodRanchers.com article titled, "Government-Funded Food Pyramid Says Lucky Charms is Healthier Than Steak," the government's stupidity is revealed once again. In the article, it says, in September 2022, the White House hosted a conference that focused on health and nutrition and hunger in America. Darush Mozafarni, who was one of the main organizers of the event and is currently dean of the Tufts School of Nutrition, presented a new food pyramid that cost 3 years to make and 3 years in time, and the taxpayer millions of dollars. The new wisdom they found, according to this article, that Lucky Charms are healthier than steak. Yes, you heard that correctly. How this pyramid works basically is all the food was ranked from a scale from 1 to 100, 1 being the worst for you, 100 being the best. Ground beef and steak scored a 26 compared to Lucky Charms that scored a 60. A 60. Other foods that scored higher than steak I thought I'd mention are ice cream cone with nuts scored a 34, almond M&Ms scored a 43, Honey Nut Cheerios scored a 76, chocolate covered almonds scored a 78, and my favorite, frosted mini wheats scored an 87. The fact that this is coming from the White House, what we're supposed to trust the most, should infuriate the populace. There should be riots in the street claiming for better food education, but there's not. Obviously, steak and ground beef are much healthier than the foods I just listed, and according to a Health Bulletin article written by Brian Good, titled "Thicker: How Things Are Trading on the Men's Health Index," eating meat, in fact, does not contribute to the development of cancer according to new UK studies. After analyzing data from dozens of studies, researchers have been unable to find any link between the amount of meat a man eats and his overall disease risk. Hopefully, it is clear to you now that the government wants nothing more but to keep you hooked on what their friends are cooking. Regardless of what the government is saying, it is up to the individual to prioritize their health and wellness. Access to these foods, contrary to popular belief, is not the main issue. According to Stephen Pratt, writer and reporter for the Chicago Tribune, writes, despite our abundant and high quality food supply, researchers say Americans are leading for more diet-related diseases such as cancer, obesity, heart disease, and osteoporosis. Several factors are leading us on this destructive pathway. We don't choose a wide variety of foods. We think a normal portion of food is what's served at a restaurant, and we do not eat enough fruits and vegetables, and processed meats take up a majority of space on our dinner plates. In summary, we are a country of fatties that is addicted to fat, sugar, and salt. We also live in a very strange time, a time in which obese people are fighting for their own rights, a time where obese people are held on a pedestal and are viewed equally as people who eat healthy and are attractive. This makes no sense. But after reading the article From the Freak Show to the Living Room, Cultural Representation of Dwarfism and Obesity by Laura Brackstrom, the philosophy behind the body positivity movement begins to make more sense. She writes, no matter how small or badly off a particular stigmatized category is, the viewpoint of its members is likely to be given public representation of some kind. It can thus be said that Americans who are stigmatized tend to live in a literarily defined world, however uncultured they might be. If they don't read books on the situation of persons like themselves, they at least read magazines and see movies. And where they don't do these, then they listen to local vocal associates. An intellectually worked up version of their point of view is available to the most stigmatized person. Now, this eloquently describes the body positivity movement. Instead of changing themselves for the better and becoming healthy, obese people are demanding that society conform for them and treat them differently. This is a convoluted and twisted way of thinking, and it's just an unhealthy approach devised by an unhealthy group of people. Now, not to mention, the body positivity movement is a farce. They claim to love all bodies are beautiful, while simultaneously slandering and denouncing actually beautiful people who eat healthy and exercise. It makes no sense. PhD Heather Widows has an amazing quote from her article, What's Wrong with the Body Positivity Movement, when she writes, there is a risk that while body positivity campaigns claim to celebrate all bodies, in fact, they only celebrate some. Often, they only challenge one feature of the beauty ideal. If they do this, then they are not really challenging the beauty ideal at all. Though they think they are nothing but further embedding it. Now, thankfully, there is a cure to obesity, and it can be as simply as walking. According to Yahai Khalidi, walking gradually every day helps mental clarity and emotional balance, aids in blood flow throughout the body, and most importantly, burns calories. Other solutions to obesity could include comprehensive nutritional education in schools, and finally, the death of the body positivity movement. In conclusion, it is time to stop with the charades and stop with the BS. It is time to accept facts. It is time that America become healthy once again and start living sustainably.